The United States quite easily has the most well-known flag of the entire world. While its great international power and economic force makes it very well known, the US might be most well known for its iconic flag. The US is easily known around the world, but despite this, most people are actually unaware of the great history that lies behind this iconic flag. Luckily for you though, in this video, we'll be going over the amazing history behind this flag. To start, the United States flag goes all the way back to the US Revolutionary War. During the Revolutionary War, the United States at first used the Gadsden flag, and while this was an unofficial flag, many people still really liked this flag. However, George Washington eventually decided to use this flag while he was fighting in the Revolutionary War, especially when he and his army were laying siege to Boston when it was controlled by the British Army. However, this flag was unpopular because the flag had the Union Jack on it, even though most of the US supporting the US side of the Revolutionary War was anti-British. Because of its similarity to the British Union Jack, many loyalists actually confused the flag with George Washington's army surrendering during the Boston siege. This made George Washington conclude that the US needed a new flag if it were to continue fighting the Revolutionary War. In fact, George Washington wrote in his diary on January 4th, 1777, while laying siege to Boston, quote, "By this time, I presume, they begin to think it strange we have not made a formal surrender of our lines." Luckily, George Washington decided to approach Betsy Ross to create the new flag for the USA. George Washington helped give her some creative ideas, but overall, Betsy Ross sewed together an entire flag for the USA generally on her own. This flag was known as the Grand Union, which consisted of 13 white, 5-pointed stars in a circle on a blue rectangle in the canton or upper left corner of the flag. Along the rest of the flag were 13 stripes, each alternating red and white. The 13 stars and 13 stripes represented the 13 colonies that were declaring themselves independent from the British as states in the United States. The colors of the flag also have meaning. The red was chosen to represent the toughness and courage of the 13 states or colonies, while the white represents the purity of the nation, and the blue represents the nation's strong support for justice and freedom. The blue also represents the perseverance of the nation in their fight for independence from the British. And boy, was perseverance a major part of the United States' fight for independence. While the United States declared independence on July 4th, 1776, it wasn't until September 3rd, 1783, that Britain formally recognized the United States' independence. Eventually, though, the United States did gain its independence from Britain and finally became an independent country. By 1795, 2 new states had joined the United States. These states were Vermont and Kentucky, which joined on March 4th, 1791 and June 1st, 1792 respectively. By 1795, the US decided to update their flag to accommodate for these 2 new states. So, the US added 2 new stars to the canton, and interestingly, also added 2 new stripes to the US flag as well. However, by 1818, there were 20 states in total in the United States, and when the US updated their flag again for these 20 states, the US decided not to add more stripes to the flag. In fact, they reverted back to the original 13, but they did update the stars to have 20 stars. Because of this decision, every US government administration thereafter has chosen to follow through with this decision, simply adding a new star to the flag for every new state that joins the nation. Now fast forward to the 1950s, and there's an interesting situation with the US flag that we have today, the 50-star flag. When the US was considering Alaska and Hawaii for statehood, they decided to have an open competition in 1958 to 1959, where any US citizen could submit a 49 or 50 US star flag proposal to the government, with the grand prize of having their flag selected if their flag was chosen by the US government to be the official US flag. Also, during this time, there was someone named Robert G. Heft, who was currently in school and had an assignment from his social studies teacher, Stanley Pratt, to redesign the US flag in preparation for the anticipated addition of the 2 new US states. Robert decided to take inspiration from the previous US flag designs and design the US flag we all know today, with the canton having the alternating lines of 6 and 7 stars. Robert ended up getting a B- on the assignment from his teacher, who claimed that the flag was lacking a lot of originality. However, his teacher said that he would be willing to change the grade to an A if Robert submitted the flag he created to the national flag competition and won. Robert did submit his flag to the competition, and when Hawaii was accepted as a US state, President Eisenhower, the current president at the time, personally chose Robert's flag for the new flag for the United States. In the end, Robert was able to attend a formal ceremony that made his flag proposition the official national flag, and he was even able to get his assignment grade changed to an A, even though by then he had already graduated and had a job. The massive and large history of the US flag truly shows just how interesting and unique this flag is compared to the simple appearances on the surface. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you like this video and fill out the form in the description to give me feedback on my videos. Feel free to take the test attached below to test your knowledge on this video. Other than that, thanks for watching my flag series, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!